Zcash has pumped by over 2000%. Yes, you heard it right, 2000% in under 1 month. But the big question remains, how high can it still go? And will it become the next Bitcoin? Hello everyone, Richard here and welcome to a new episode here on AltCryptoTalk. Today, I'll be going over Zcash in a detailed manner. In fact, it will be the most detailed Zcash analysis you'll ever see. So let's dive straight into it, and of course, don't forget to smash that like button if you like such content. Before we go over the current price action, let's understand what Zcash or ZEC truly is. For those who don't know, Zcash is a Bitcoin-derived or Bitcoin fork cryptocurrency that uses advanced zero-knowledge proofs to enable fully private transactions where senders, receivers, and amount remain hidden, while still being cryptographically verified. It stands out for giving users the choice between transparent and shielded transactions, combining strong privacy and Bitcoin-level security within one blockchain. That being said, and you can clearly see if you have been following us for a while, we covered Zcash twice this month. The first one is around 25 October, and you can clearly see the tweet here. If you're not following us yet, you can find us at AltCryptoTalk, the website, on X, Instagram, literally everywhere. Let's get back to our analysis. So 25 October, we've posted this one. We have been retesting what I call a trio retest, which was the 200 round number intersecting with the lower bound of the correction, as you can see in orange, and the lower bound of this rising channel or trend following setup. So this area was the intersection of three rejections. That's why I call it a trio retest. Retesting the trend line again, and also the 200 round number. And it surged from here by over 250%. And then we've posted another one, which was around here, like 1 week ago. It was around the 480, 500 round number, very similar to the previous one. Overall trend, we've got our impulse correction, another bigger impulse correction, and we have been looking for trend following longs. Now, let's get back to the previous or the current price action. How high can ZEC go? To understand this, we have to understand market cap. If you go to crypto coin market cap, you can see that we are currently, for Zcash or ZEC, number 14, with a total of 10 billion approximately market cap. And for it to be able to go 10 times higher, we have to have a 100 billion market cap, which makes it a little bit higher than the current Solana market cap, which is, in my opinion, not that optimistic, not shooting the moon as we say it, but still in a realistic manner. But like for some people who are saying that we'll be having the next Bitcoin, it might cross ETH and so on. This might be a little bit crazy, but who knows, right? This is crypto, and ZEC proved that it has been a top performer for the past couple of weeks. But let's be realistic and go over it as is in an objective manner. So if you go for ZEC weekly chart and you go to log chart, right? Go to monthly time frame, you can see that we can still push higher from here towards the all-time high, which would be around 8K, which lines up perfectly with around 800 times 10 from here, which would be 8K, which would cross the current Solana market cap. This might be a little bit realistic, doable as a first target, or maybe the last target. It depends on the cycle, it depends on how much money will be flowing in, the hype, and so on. But the technology is here, it's a Bitcoin fork, privacy, transparency, whatever you want is already there. But if you zoom a little bit into weekly time frame, you can see that we are currently hovering around the upper bound of the range. It's also visible on monthly time frame. You can clearly see that we have been trading within this big range between 25 and 800. This is again a log chart. We'll be checking the auto one in a bit, but zooming in a little bit, you can see that on weekly time frame we are approaching the upper bound of the zone. And you all know, nothing moves straight up, right? We might be having a correction, and if we have this, it would be a massive support zone, because it will be the intersection of the 300 round number lining up with this very strong support area and lining up with this demand zone. Why it's a demand? Because within this big crazy impulse, again from weekly log chart, this is the only bearish candle, which makes it a high liquid area. Many pending orders are left behind around this area. Many maybe stop loss orders are around here, or maybe some crazy people shorting this one would have their take profit around here. This makes it a very strong demand zone, which makes the entire area a trio retest. 300 round number, structure and support, and also a demand zone. So in case we push lower towards here, this would be a very strong area to be looking for trend following longs, targeting the first target around the 800 750, which would be anyway from here like 2.5x, right? And vice versa. If you break above the 800 from a weekly perspective, which means a full momentum big candle close, weekly one above the 800, in this case we'll be expecting a price discovery phase, not in terms of above the previous all-time high, but in terms of that we don't have any resistance zones around this area, right? It's a free movement upward towards the previous all-time high, which would be around 8k, which happened like from inception, which was around 2016 2017, or late 2016 early 2017. Zooming back to daily time frame, you can see that we have been overall bullish, and you can clearly notice that this current impulse isn't as strong as the previous impulse. You can clearly see this crazy one, a very short or very weak correction phase, followed by a bigger impulse, also steep, as you can see, like almost vertical, and then we have a bigger correction. If you compare this correction to the previous one, which was one candle only, it was bigger, and now you can clearly see that if you compare these ones, like vertical ones, to this one, almost flat, which means that the bulls are maybe exhausted, right? Especially that it's also lining up with the upper bound of this big range from the log weekly chart, and also a resistance zone. So it makes sense to have a healthy correction. I'm not saying that we'll have a crash all the way towards where it started, but it's healthy to have a good correction movement for the bulls to get back on track and push higher in a more aggressive manner. For this to happen, what we need is a break below the previous major low. You can clearly see that we have been bullish, right? And this flat rising channel is engulfed within this rising wedge pattern. That's it. And we are currently also around the upper bound. We might have a correction towards this lower bound. In this case, we'll be also looking for longs, which will be a 2x towards the 800. But, and only but, in case we break below this low, and the trend line as well, in this case, we'll be expecting a deeper correction movement, which would still, as mentioned previously, a healthy correction from weekly and daily time frames. In this case, this is where we'll be looking for longs. So long story short, as a trading plan, as long as we are above this wedge pattern, that's exactly what we did from these two previous tweets, right? And don't forget to follow us everywhere to keep or to stay updated, right? For ZEC and for any other cryptocurrencies, we'll be updating the most recent ones or the most pumping ones. Anyway, we have been overall bullish, and as long as we are above this area, which would be 500 round number or even the lower band of it around 485, as long as we are above this area, we'll be looking for trend following longs. But in case we break it to the downside, we'll be looking for longs here. We'll be expecting a deeper correction. You can look for shorts on the retest if you want, and then look for new longs down there. Let's go for the auto chart. Here we go. We are also overall bullish, and you can just optimize the trend line in this manner just to, here we go, to cover the recent major swings. So both the auto and the log chart are lining up, and this is exactly the previous major low. As long as we are above it, we'll be looking for trend following longs. And remember, it's not wise to be buying just right there. It's good, it's hyped, it's pushing higher, 2000% already up, but it's around a resistance zone. It's overbought, the bulls are exhausted. So either wait for a break above the 800, this is what I personally do. I'm already in from the 30, from the 200, as I showed you in the tweets and so on. So I'm already like 10x up from here. But I would like think of a defensive plan because we are already around a resistance zone. If you retest this area, then yes, I'll keep my longs and be looking for even adding more as a DCA strategy. But if you break below this low, we'll be expecting a deeper correction towards the 300 or even 250. That's it for today. Let me know if you are holding ZEC or planning to hold it and at which levels. And of course, let me know which altcoins you would like me to cover next. And if you like this deep dive, and I'll see you hopefully on the next one.